Hello, my friends. Tonight, I want to tell you a story. They say every forest holds its secrets. But Blackwood is different. The trees lean too close together, like they're eavesdropping. The air feels heavy, damp, and rotten. And if you ever wander too far into those woods, you might hear it. The roar, the laugh, the sound of something that isn't supposed to exist. For centuries, villagers have whispered about the demons of Blackwood. Not one, but two. A monstrous pair. A male demon, huge, stone-skinned, with claws sharp enough to tear a tree in half. And a female demon, slender, cunning, her eyes glowing like ice, her voice sweet enough to trick even the wisest traveller. And together, they hungered for flesh. Parents told their children, "Don't go near the forest. Don't follow the sound of laughter. Don't stray from the fields." But warnings. They're fragile things in the hands of children. It was a summer afternoon when 7 of them wandered too close. Ethan, the oldest, sharp-eyed and brave. His sister Lucy, bold and curious. Mischievous Tom, sturdy Jack, shy Clara, cheerful Emma, and little Ben, the youngest, only 7 years old. They were playing hide-and-seek, laughing, running. And before they knew it, the meadow was gone. The forest swallowed them whole. At first, they weren't afraid. The air was cool, the ground soft, and the smell of pine surrounded them. But the deeper they went, the quieter it became. No birdsong, no wind, just silence. And then, the roar. It tore through the forest, so deep it rattled their bones. From between the trees came the male demon, towering, grey skin cracked like stone, teeth jagged and wet, his eyes burning red. "Well, well," he growled, his voice like boulders grinding together. 7 little morsels wander into my wood." Ethan didn't hesitate. "Run!" he shouted. The ground shook as the demon charged after them. Trees splintered beneath his claws. The children's screams filled the night air. He was close, too close. And then Ethan saw it, a massive oak. "Climb!" he yelled. One by one, they scrambled up. The demon lunged, but his claws only scraped bark. He circled below, growling, his voice dripping with hunger. "Stay high, little birds." Hunger makes me patient. The children clung to the branches, terrified. But Ethan whispered, "We can't stay. We'll trick him." They tied vines together, dropped Clara's kerchief as bait. When the demon bent to sniff it, they pulled the vines tight, trying to bind him to the tree. For a moment, they thought it worked. They thought they were safe. But with one flex, the vines snapped like straw. The demon laughed, shaking the ground. "You think you can bind me?" He reared back, ready to strike. And that's when Ethan shouted, "Jump!" The children leapt. The demon lunged, his weight crashing into the roots of the oak. The ground gave way. With a roar that split the night, he tumbled into a hidden ravine. Rocks thundered down, burying him in dust. Silence. For the first time, the children breathed. "We beat him," Tom whispered. But Ethan shook his head. "No, there are 2. And right then, the laugh. High, mocking, cold. She stepped from the shadows. The female demon, tall, slender, her hair flowing like night itself, her smile sharp, her eyes glowing with icy fire. "Well done, little birds," she purred. "You toppled my brute. But clever children are my favourite feast." And before they could run, she flung her hands wide. A net of black shadow spread through the air. Lucy, Tom, Jack, Clara, Emma, and Ben, all snared, collapsing in sticky darkness. Only Ethan rolled aside, just barely. He watched, helpless, as she dragged the net across the forest floor. He followed at a distance, heart pounding, She led them to a crooked hut by the river. Bones littered the ground. Smoke curled from the chimney, carrying the foul smell of cooked flesh. Inside, she shoved the children into a cage. Wooden bars slammed shut. Their cries echoed in the dark. Then she turned to the table, reached for a butcher's knife, and slowly, deliberately, began to sharpen it against a whetstone. Shk, shk, shk. The sound scraped the children's nerves raw. Ben whimpered. Lucy held him close, whispering, "Don't cry. Please don't cry." The demoness tilted her head, smiling. Tears salt the meat. She kept sharpening. Sparks danced in the shadows. Then she lifted the blade, licking it once, slow, savouring. "Which of you shall I taste first?" she whispered. "The smallest? The sweetest? Or the bold one? The one who dares meet my eyes?" She stared at Lucy. Inside the cage, Jack whispered, "She's going to eat us." "No," Lucy hissed. "Ethan will come." And he did. Ethan slipped through a crack in the wall, heart hammering. He scanned the room. Cages, bones, firelight, and the demoness. Her back turned, still sharpening, still humming. He spotted a jug of oil near the hearth. If he could spill it into the fire, maybe. But just as he reached for it, the humming stopped. "I can smell you, little bird." She spun, eyes narrowing. Ethan froze. With a laugh, she seized him by the collar, dragging him to the cage. "The clever one," she hissed. "Now you'll watch your friends burn." She shoved him inside. The children clung to him, desperate. The demoness returned to her fire, tossing herbs into a pot, humming again. She was preparing a feast. Time was running out. Ethan whispered, "Listen. When I say run, you go for the river." "How?" Lucy asked, panicked. "We'll trick her." Again, the demoness stoked the flames. She lifted her knife, walked to the cage. Slowly, deliberately, she unlocked it, reached in. Her claws curled toward Ben. But Ethan kicked the cage door, slamming it against her wrist. She shrieked, dropping the knife. Lucy grabbed it, sliced at the shadow net, binding them. Threads snapped. The children spilled free. "Run!" Ethan shouted. The hut exploded into chaos. The demoness lunged, overturning the cauldron. Fire spread across the floor. Smoke filled the room. The children bolted into the night, racing for the river. The demoness followed, faster than the wind. She caught Lucy's sleeve at the water's edge. "Not so fast, little bird." Ethan grabbed a branch, swung with every ounce of strength. The wood cracked across her face. She reeled back, hissing. Her foot slipped on the muddy bank, and with a scream that froze their blood, she toppled into the raging river. The current swallowed her. She surfaced once, eyes blazing. "Curse you!" she shrieked. "Curse you, children!" And then she was gone. The children collapsed on the riverbank, gasping for air, their bodies trembling from terror and exhaustion. Behind them, the crooked hut was burning to ash. Before them, the river thundered, carrying away the she-demon's scream. At dawn, they staggered back into the village, faces pale, clothes torn, eyes wide with memories no child should carry. The elders listened in horror. They nodded grimly, whispering warnings the children already knew too well. "Rivers carry," the old ones said, "but rivers do not kill what is not alive. And earth buries, but earth cannot hold what belongs to the dark." And so, at the forest's edge, they raised a sign, "Beware the demons of Blackwood." One of brute strength, one of cruel cunning, both hunger for flesh. The children grew, but none ever forgot the cage, the scraping knife, or the sight of claws sinking into mud. On stormy nights, when thunder rolled and the river swelled, they swore they could still hear echoes, The brute's guttural roar, the she-demon's cold, mocking laugh. For a time, the villagers believed the terror had passed, that the demons were gone. But evil never dies. It only waits. And sometimes, it doesn't wait long. Deep within the ravine where the brute had fallen, the earth began to shift. First a tremor, then a crack. Stones tumbled down, rolling into the dark. And from that dark, a massive claw burst upward, grey and jagged, slick with soil. Slowly, agonizingly, the male demon dragged himself free. His roar rumbled through the ground, muffled at first, then deafening, shaking the roots of the forest. His eyes burned once more, red with fury, red with hunger. At the river, where foam and flood had swallowed the she-demon, the water stirred. A ripple broke the surface. Then another. And then a pale, clawed hand shot from the current, grasping the bank. Mud tore beneath her nails as she pulled herself from the torrent. Her hair hung in black strands across her face. Water poured from her lips as she laughed, broken at first, then rising into a chilling shriek that carried through the forest. The demons were not dead. They were awake, and they were angry. So if you ever wander near Blackwood Forest and you hear the ground tremble or laughter rising from the water, run, because the demons of Blackwood are still there, waiting, hungry still.